Okay, and hello. So, like I said last time, I was going to try something new, and I did a little bit of stuff. But first, I'm starting from in my house because I have some stuff to show off. So, first of all, I didn't know that I would get a Pokeshi doll in here, and now more than ever, I want Nintendo to sell these for real. Anyways, I still have my rock collection, but I also have the Rotom fan. I bought this for 40,000 Poke Yen things. I think that one was the one that was 40,000, but now I've got a Poke fan to add to my collection of things. I've got the lawnmower that I bought before, and I've also got a washing machine. Not that Ginter really quite understood what he was selling, I think, because it's not exactly hooked up to anything, so I can't use it. Alas, I cannot. Anyways, I said last time that I was going to start trying to evolve at least 3 Pokemon per episode, as in one at the start, one in the middle, and one at the end. So first, and I also did a preview of which ones I was going to do. So something that needs the Fire Stone to evolve, something that needs the Water Stone to evolve, and if Tristan gets his levels up, whoops, sorry, that's that controller drift. And if Tristan gets his levels up, a Gallade by the end. So anyways, controller drift. So first, let's get out a Pokemon that requires... Why am I going this way? A Pokemon that requires the Fire Stone to evolve. It is in here. So I just grabbed all of the EVs I have and just put them all in here to figure out which one. Now I did have some of them marked off as ones I want to use for this endeavor. So I picked this one before, and I just don't actually feel like doing any sort of math, so I'm going to keep it. Anyways, let's evolve Flareon then. So, Flareon, dun dun dun, let's go. So yeah, I think I'm going to keep it to 3 Pokemon per episode through evolution items. Some of that is because I still need to buy more linking cables because I'm not finding those anywhere. Anyways, Flareon is here with its really pointy tail. Alright, so let's take a look at Flareon, or Flare as I called it, so I had an easy way to remember that this is the one that evolves into a fire Pokemon, and oh my god, it's so cute! It's so cute, and okay, its tail looks like a flame. That's why. You're so cute. If only you had a better stat pool. Well, stat arrangement. Why did Pokemon do you dirty like that? Okay, anyways. Back into the box you go. I'll figure out what I want to... I'll figure out what I have to do for that later. But anyways, yeah. So, Flareon got evolved this episode. And we'll get back to that around the 1 hour mark, I think. Anyways, moving on. Oh, come on. Again? Anyways, I know we've been going to the Obsidian Fieldlands a whole lot, but unfortunately I have some low-level Pokemon that I need to evolve and level up, and I also want to try to, again, do some of their Pokedex entries. So, and why do I have... Oh, Eevee, because I evolved Eevee. Right. Anyways, I need to set this to Skunky. Okay, that one's set to Skunky, so I could go ahead and evolve him as soon as it's ready to evolve, but at the same time, again, the times where I have to get it to use a bunch of attacks to get that Pokedex entry, I'm not the biggest fan of. Anyways, I need to find in the Alabaster Icelands the entry for Relts, because I know I need to get to use Hypnosis a whole lot. Kirlia is at least done, but Relts I need to make it use Hypnosis. I also have to feed them, but that's more stuff to do in the wild instead. So I'm just gonna try to get, oh wait, how many did I need for Relts? Right, I need 25, but I've already got, yeah, sorry, I need to do 25, but I've already got 6 done. So if I use Hypnosis a whole bunch, then I could be done with it really quickly. I'm not going to do what I did last time though, which was just spam Roost in a single battle. That got pretty boring on my part. One of the problems is definitely going to be if Bidoof just keeps doing this, so... Got a sleepy Bidoof right there. So yeah, we'll see how it works out in this regard. But some of the problem is I've just kind of become aware of the fact that Hypnosis doesn't always hit. So that, again, like that's part of the difficulty. And so like, in theory, if a Hypnosis hit every single time, I would not need to actually go back. Ever. I wouldn't need to go back to make it use Hypnosis enough times. Unfortunately, Bidoof ran away. And 2, despite the number of times I used it, I only got 2 uses. I only got 2 points towards that. So that just kind of goes to show how inaccurate some of the moves are. But anyways, I'm trying to... Oh, come on! Come on! Starly! Starly ran away. So, man, maybe... I want to try to figure out something that'll work out well. Anyways, there's the Shinx, so... It knows I'm here, but... I didn't hit it in the head. I was hoping to hit it in the head. Anyways. Ah, shit. Alright, so that Pokemon's already fainted. Which means that it's time to use a revive because I don't feel like going back for it. I also realized I forgot to put some stuff away before the start of the episode, or rather, well, I forgot to put some stuff away. Anyways, I do want to try to get to use Hypnosis quite a bit more before I go back to camp. Unfortunately, this Shinx is being a bit bothersome, so I have to knock it out first. So, yeah, that's kind of the problem with this, is that, well, like, one hit is going to knock out Tristan. Tristan being the routes that I'm trying to level up. So Tristan used Hypnosis. Hypnosis actually hit this time, but Jinx can still get a quick attack off. So with some of these battles, I am just going to try to go for one hit of Hypnosis followed by an attack, because otherwise Tristan is going to keep getting knocked out. So it could be a bit of a problem to go after Wurmple, admittedly, because of the typing. So Tristan is a Psychic Fairy type, which means that the bug typing of Wurmple is a problem, and the fact that Wurmples usually have Poison Sting is also a big problem, because poison is super effective against fairies. So yeah, Tristan's not exactly looking great, so I'm going to start working with Stunky, which I haven't named. So now with Stunky, I need to use Acid Spray a whole bunch and Poison Gas. So using Poison Gas isn't as big of a problem as Acid Spray was. Acid Spray is a move that does only 40 damage, and I was in an area of the map before where I needed something that could do more damage. And that was the problem I was having with Gibble as well, before I evolved into Gabite. The Pokedex wanted me to use a less than optimal move, and it was just causing a lot more trouble than it was ultimately worth. Out here, in this area where Pokemon are kind of low level, yeah, the Pokemon are low level, but I can easily get these point counters in. So yeah, I'm just going to be using Acid Spray a whole bunch right now. Pretty much until it's done, well, getting that count. Pretty much until I'm done with that counter. Okay, is this a triple? Yep, this is a triple threat, yay! So I'm fighting 3 Shinx at once, which, like, the swarm mechanic in previous generations somehow did not feel as frightening as it does in this generation. And I think that's kind of because, like, in this game, like, individual Pokemon, the drift is awful. Anyways, individual Pokemon can get 2 moves off at a time. So, like, having 3 Pokemon go at once, and also in this game, like, it seems like Pokemon attacks are a bit stronger than before. So, like, I don't remember a Quick Attack doing that much damage to a Pokemon that's, like, 6 times its level. But, like, Tristan took a quarter damage from a Quick Attack. So anyways. The point is that 3 or more Pokemon in a fight against your 1 in this game is a lot more daunting than in previous games, where you had like swarm battles. But even then, it was like, this isn't so bad. Alright, so now this is a Beautifly that I'm attacking. And it's level 19, so that's still not a big problem. And the fact that it's, well, no, in this game, both defensive stats I seem to think get lowered or raised. Oh no. But it's kind of a moot point because Acid Spray is a special attack. Shoot. Alright, I thought this Beautifly wasn't going to be a problem, but it turns out it actually was, because that stupid silver wind. Alright, so I'm going to have to actually switch to working on Tortwig now for multiple reasons. One, Stunky took a fair bit of damage in that one fight, so it's not looking too great health-wise. And two, Tortwig is only one level away from leveling up, and yet I've done nothing with Tortwig except for catch them. And oh my god, there's so many Shinx right now. And an Alpha Starly. Why is there an Alpha Starly up there, of all places? Alright, anyways, the Bidoof are back. As is the ever-spawning... Oh, I just realized I have no idea what move. It's probably Leafage. I'm going to take a guess that it's Leafage. God, I hope it's Leafage. Anyways, that one's set to the Alabaster Icelands. I don't have anywhere I can actually catch Tortwig, so I have to go up in the Pokedex for the entire region. Alright, Tortwig, yes, it is Leafage. So again, but that's 25 times that I have to see it battle with that move. So we're going to be in for the long haul with a bunch of these, unfortunately. But yeah, anyways. So working on... Let's talk about the Pokedex entry. So in the past, for this game, I've mentioned that I do like this different method for completing Pokedex entries. Like, in the previous games, it's like you didn't really have to work towards getting the information about each Pokemon. You just pretty much caught one Pokemon, and then you got the Pokedex entry for it. Whereas in this game, you have to battle it. Unfortunately, as this game has gone on, and I've actually started to work on it more and more, I do have like some frustrations with it, but ultimately overall, I do like this new system. It gives you something to kind of work towards in the game more than just like... It gives you something, it gives you goals with this game. And I mean, it's up to you to decide if that's a good thing in an open world game or a bad thing. Some people want an open world game that is just open world. No goals, no expectations. If there's a plot, then they haven't found it yet. But other people, they like the semi-open world concept, so like the game is still open world. I wound up in an area that I was not supposed to be in, and all of the Pokemon there were much higher level than I was. So, like, this game does have that sort of area, but it also still has like areas for you to unlock, so it's more of a semi-open world. And then you have like, again, my frame of reference for this is going to be a lot of Breath of the Wild, where once you leave the tutorial area, which is kind of this area in this game, but yeah, once you leave the tutorial area in Breath of the Wild, you can go anywhere you want. Is it recommended that you go everywhere that you want? No, they do recommend that you go to Kakariko Village. That you go there first. Or Hatano Village first. To like get some supplies before you go fight Ganon, but if you are so inclined to go fight Ganon with a stick and no clothes on, more power to you, the game does let you do it. Does the game probably think you're being an idiot? Yes. But you can go be an idiot if you want to. And it's a game that gives you goals to work towards. Now, other games, from what I've heard, not ones that I've played because I don't have, when they first came out, they came out on a system I didn't have. And if they've come out on a system that I do have, then I don't know it because I don't have time for that game. So, not naming the game specifically, but they lifted a lot of stuff from Breath of the Wild, like it's go to this point and to get the map for the area and stuff like that. And some people didn't like that. But then again, this was an article I read, and the author never exactly said what they want from an open world game, just a whole list of things that they don't want. So by the end of the article, I was feeling pretty annoyed with the author, because it's like, alright, you gave us a list of things that you don't want. What makes the games that you like good? And that person just never elaborated on that. So yes, and again, like, open world games aren't for everyone. Some people prefer the structure of a traditional RPG of you know where you're going next. Like, that's not a mystery to you, and it does have a beginning and a middle and the end, because quite frankly, some people just don't have time. Yeah, like, people just don't have time for a 200-hour plus open world game where you can do what you want, and there might be a story, but you don't have to interact with it if you don't want to. And, like, that's not a game for everyone. Alright, so the 3 main Pokemon I'm in this area for have taken too much damage, so I need to already fly back to camp. Now, I could stay out here and just heal up my Pokemon with items, but at the same time, I have 3 of them to work on. So, yeah, it just made more sense to go back to camp and sleep. Sleep off my worries. So yeah, anyways, back to my thoughts about the Pokedex. I think that making us sort of work to fill in the Pokedex makes sense in... Shoot, wrong move. Alright. Confusion did not knock it out, so I do get to get a Hypnosis off. And it ran away. Alright. Anyways, I'm about 10 away. Oh, hi. Hi. Yeah, I'm just here to ramble about Pokemon and occasionally lecture people on topics about Pokemon that they didn't know existed within Pokemon. Anyways, my thoughts about the Pokedex in this game, it makes sense story-wise and timeline-wise why you're still kind of the person that fills in the Pokedex, so to speak. Or rather, Professor Laventon is. Because, I mean, in Gen 1, Professor Oak created the Pokedex that you use in that game. Originally, I think in the original designs for the game, the Pokedex in that is a notebook, but then at some point it got upgraded to a sort of electronic camera book thing. And in a way, did Pokemon inspire the phone camera? Who knows? Is that a question that we want to answer? It is not. No one wants to answer the question of, Is Pokemon responsible for the creation of the iPhone? Is that a conversation that any of us are willing to have? I don't think it's a conversation any of us want to have. So anyways, moving on. It makes sense for this game that you have to be the one to fill in the Pokedex. However, some of the research tasks are a little bit less even than others. So like, let's take a look at this one for Tortwig. I have to catch 10 of them. Okay, I think a lot of them are catch 10, except no, this Togetic is 15. So you have to catch 10 Tortwig versus Togetic, which is not as rare, technically speaking, but it's still pretty dang rare. If not them, then Star Trek. Yeah, Star Trek is perhaps also responsible for the iPhone. But that's a conversation for another day. Yeah, anyways, Tortwig, catch 10, catch 5 without being spotted, have it use one move 25 times, give it food 5 times, and evolve it once. So that's Tortwig. I have far fewer tasks to finish off Tortwig than, say, this Chansey. I had to catch 1 while they're sleeping. I'm lucky if I can find one. Defeat 15. Defeat them with fighting type moves. You have it use Soft Boil, which somehow I've managed that 7 times. Not sure how. But yeah, and then this one I have to defeat it 40 times. Defeat it with ground type moves 25 out of those 40 times. Have it use poison gas 25 times. Have it use acid spray 25 times. Stun it using items, which I have done. And get it to evolve. So a lot of these entries, like some of them are much... Oh my god, this Yanmega one. Wow. Okay, Yanmega is quite long. Some of them are quite a bit longer than others. So now, Skunky is part of a one tier evolution family, whereas like admittedly, Tortwig is part of a 2-tier evolution line. However, Gumi is also part of a 3-tier line, and it has a lot more to do than Tortwig. Now, is that partially balanced because of how rare Tortwig is? Not really, because Prinplup, a Pokemon that you apparently rarely get to see ever, also has some somewhat ridiculous requirements. The one I'm pointing out is give it food 5 times. You can't feed Pokemon that you've caught, which I think is a crying shame for this game. Let me feed my Pokemon, including the ones like Routes, which I was kind of throwing out of its ball so I could show it off. Yeah, anyways, let's take a look at Routes. Routes, the child Pokemon that it is, the Abra replacement for the Gen 3 games, which I think they did a pretty good job making this Pokemon the... Oh god, it actually does have a mouth. I have found the mouth on the Routes. What the hell? There's its mouth! It has a mouth. Okay, I thought Routes didn't have a mouth. Okay, I stand corrected. Anyways, point is, let me feed Pokemon. Let me feed the Pokemon I have caught. Why can't I do that? Huh. Anyways, Routes does have a mouth. I cannot feed the Pokemon I've caught, which makes doing certain Pokedex entries like this one very hard to do. So yeah, some of the Pokedex entries are going to be easier to complete than others, and it's kind of frustrating that way. I haven't quite figured out what the balancing is, so like presumably with Pokemon like Licky, which is a Pokemon that you could use in battle a whole bunch, that one has a lot of items to do and a lot of attacking things that you need to do in order to complete its dex. It's also a Pokemon that has a guaranteed alpha. But then you have ones like Bonsly, Pichu, and the other baby Pokemon, which are like number caught, number you've caught without being spotted, times you've seen use Mimic, times you've given it food. Well, actually, Bonsly isn't as bad as Pichu's. Pichu's entry is terrible. So yeah, just some of the Pokedex entries are not as even as others. So it leads to some Pokedex entries I have being really, like, almost done, and others, like, being barely started. So yeah, some of the Pokedex is going to be a little bit uneven to do. Which is why I think I'm just going to head for Quick Attack is the bane of my existence in this game now. Thankfully, Draining Kiss is a move that exists. It's also a move that I forgot existed until this moment. But anyways, yeah, so I think that if I'm gonna actually like complete the Pokedex, not just get 10 points per entry, so that I can actually read the entry, then that's going to be something I have to do in my own time. I also, again, completely forgot what my goal was, which was to use Hypnosis a whole bunch. So yeah, anyways, that's my thoughts about how the Pokedex is done. It's definitely an interesting thing to do. It does make catching Pokemon a more reasonable goal, because without it as part of the way to finish the main game, and having like the goal of getting 10 entries to read the Pokedex entry itself at all, I get the feeling that like some people just wouldn't actually do it. So anyways, I'm gonna switch to Turtwig to battle this Buizel. Because I can. So yeah. Anyways, like, as a continuation of something I was talking about yesterday, and the thought, like, just randomly hitting me upside the head again today, like, I said that it's much more reasonable for this game to take place at least 300 years in the past, given how this game is trying to convey, like, how the Galaxy Expedition team arrived in this area, how like they're not trying to explicitly, at least, overthrow the people that already live here, which also came from another area. But anyways, you have like the Galaxy team, on paper at least, trying to be respectful of the local culture, rather than like totally colonizing it as is true of history. But given that there's no mention of any of this in the new Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl game, suggesting that in the future, the Diamond Clan and Pearl Clan are completely forgotten by the time of the main game. The other thing too is just that in those games, you're a 10-year-old. And you're 10. And every time you pick up a book, or, well, look at a bookshelf in those games, it always says something like, oh, this book is too hard for you to read, and so you put it back on the shelf, or something like that. You never actually get to keep the book open and read anything from it, except for in the Konolov library, where it's like, this is a book of fairy tales. You can read it. So like, and also like, the games are stylized, let's be honest. The games are pretty stylized. So maybe there's a bunch of stuff missing that I don't want to say maybe there's a bunch of stuff missing. you, the player, could decide to interpret the Sinnoh setting of the games, especially in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, when just the Game Boy resolution doesn't allow for that. And I mean, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which are pretty much facelifts of a facelifted version of the game. So it has played extremely close to just pretty much copying what that game created. You, the player, having played this game or watched somebody playing it, could decide, like, because you're seeing that world through the eyes of a 10-year-old, that 10-year-old is maybe not paying attention to history. Like, do you remember, like, when you went somewhere when you were 10 years old, do you remember necessarily, like, focusing on the historical parts of buildings and, like, the history of the world that you live in? No, you probably didn't, and the amateur anthropologist in you was not alive at that point. They were still forming. So, yeah, when you think of it that way, that you're seeing the Pokemon world through the eyes of a 10-year-old, especially in the older games before graphics were powerful enough to do even this, and you were playing on a screen like the size of a credit card, yeah, like, stuff had to get sacrificed. So, the long story short way of putting it is, maybe not all the Pokemon lore is that deep, but, well, the ground is soft, I've got a shovel, and I'm ready to dig. So, yeah. Maybe, if you're the type of person that wants to go the route of somehow all of this was forgotten after a certain amount of time has passed, then yeah, you are free to follow that interpretation. It is the one that is admittedly closest to canon, because in canon, well, Hisui doesn't exist in the canon. Like, the only part of Hisui that will exist in the future is a spoiler, so I'm not going to say more about that. But every other part of Hisui, well, the plates. Oops, that's not what I wanted. But yeah, like, the only part of Hisui that remains in the future are maybe the odd keystone, the plates that you got from the various Pokemon. Sorry, the plates that you got from the various Pokemon that allows it, when used on, that allows a quote-unquote certain Pokemon to gain the power of that type, represented by the plate. Cough, cough, Arceus. And the Gradacia flower. This is all that remains of Hisui in the future. You can go with that interpretation. It is a perfectly valid interpretation. Other people could go the route of, yeah, a 10-year-old does not give a single shit about the past. Like, especially a 10-year-old who wants to become a Pokemon trainer. Maybe wasn't paying attention in school. So yeah. And that's just kind of it. Like, a lot of history is remembered by the big events that happened. But, like, a lot of historians really love journals and stuff like that, so that they know how people lived 50 years in the past, 100 years in the past, and more. Those like that sort of thing, letters and journals and like embroidery by little girls that say, "This was made by Emma and she hated every second of it." That sort of thing is just as useful to anthropologists and historians because it showed how people lived. But a 10-year-old, they're not going to really care all that much sometimes. So anyways, that's my long rant about a thought that I just had. You're seeing the future of Hisui. You're seeing Sinnoh in the contemporary games through the eyes of a 10-year-old. And very specifically, you're seeing the world of that game. You're seeing the world of Sinnoh through the eyes of a 10-year-old in a remade game or the regional game, which was made for a screen no larger than a credit card. And a game that I think like only had like 512 megabytes of data. Like the old games, Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, are ridiculously small. Sinnoh's public education also may be on par with like Texas's. That's also another interpretation. And I mean, yeah. Yeah. You said it, not me. But also, yeah. And like, I mean, let's be honest. What do you remember learning when you were 10 years old? What kind of history do you remember at 10 years old? I don't remember history class in grade 6. I legitimately have no memory of history class in grade 6. Like, I don't even know which room I took history in. I remember more of grade 5 history, but that's because that's when I got into the not the Princess Diary books, but the diary books that were like Dear America, but the princess version of them. What is this Pokemon? Oh, it's a Bidoof. You remember the revolution. I was about to ask you which revolution, because I remembered where you're from, and it's like, wait, did we call the Alamo the revolution in Texas? You remember Texas history in junior high school. Okay. Like, I remember grade 7 was European history. The Philippine Revolution. Okay. Oh, that's Razzle. Okay, so, sorry, I have 2 people in the chat right now. Hi, hi, Dazzle. Alright, so, one person who is not from America remembers learning about the Philippine Revolution. But I'm also talking to someone from Texas, and I was wondering, like, if the Alamo is also called the Revolution in Texas? Because I did not live in Texas, ever. I am confused by Texan things on a daily basis sometimes. So, you could probably tell me that in Texas, the Alamo is also sometimes called the Revolution, and I would not know better. So, yeah, apparently it's not the Revolution. Yeah, but grade 6, I legitimately don't remember any history. That might be when we covered ancient Egypt, because that's the only one that's... like, that's the only one where I can't place when I learned it. Does that make any sense? Like, grade 7 was Europe and European history. Grade 8 was quote-unquote world history, which was mostly just Asia and the Middle East. Like, I pretty much had to teach myself any Japanese history which, I mean, think about how well it goes when a 12-year-old is trying to teach themselves Japanese history. I had a little bit too much fun with some of the onsens there, like the Hell onsen that are down in Kyushu. Anyways, I used the wrong move again for this. But yeah, please imagine I was 12 in grade 8. Please imagine a 12-year-old trying to teach themselves Japanese history and Japanese culture, for that matter. And that's what happened in grade 8 at the end of it. Because the teacher realized that she was out of time on the syllabus. And it's like, alright, the rest of you, you're going to do a research project about a country in I think she tried to limit it to Asia? Maybe some people did Africa, but I think most people did Asia. And do a research project about this country and present it to the class. Because legitimately, we ran out of time. Ah, there it is. So yeah, grade 8 was mostly world history, quote-unquote Middle East a lot, and Asia. Legitimately nothing for South America and almost nothing for Africa. But I remember at some point learning about ancient Egypt, Sumeria, and all of that stuff. And I legitimately have no memory of when or where I learned it. Grade 6 was a class. A class? Grade 6 was a year that I have some memory of, but there are literally some things I have no idea when or how they happened. Okay, so... Oh, Tortoise doesn't evolve at level 16? Huh. Okay. I legitimately thought it did. Okay. Yeah. So anyways, that was, no, that's a Wurmple. I don't want to fight a Wurmple right now. Yeah. So anyways, what I'm trying to say is, what do you actually remember learning when you were 10 years old? What do you remember being interested in when you were 10 years old? My history lessons sound better than... your history classes sound better than mine, even as you're kind of panning them. So, like, grade 7, I liked my grade 7 classes. I'll say that right out. The teacher I had for that class, I legitimately liked him as a teacher, and he taught history in a way that was quite interesting, in my opinion. My grade 8 teacher, I was not as impressed with. And at some point, we had to have a conversation between her, myself, and my parents, because that's kind of where the class content kind of got to. I don't remember exactly what happened. Just as whoever's bag this is, they probably don't know exactly what happened either. Touches the dirt. Something happened here. I got your lost bag. Enjoy your bag, Snoopa. All I'm doing until now in grad school is sleep. That's good. Sleep is good. Sleep is wonderful. Everyone should get more sleep. Dear God, I want more sleep. Bidoof ran away. Yeah, so like, my school was a little bit weird back in Pennsylvania. The classes were very much divided up by topic, like university kind of divides up their classes by topic. So like, we didn't have a general history class or a general social studies class anymore in high school. Junior high school, I mean. We had a European history for this entire school year sort of class. So, yeah, like, math class in grade 6 was like pre-algebra, and it was only pre-algebra stuff, or it was geometry, and only geometry stuff that year. You really got into the math. You really got into math in the gifted program. I almost got into the gifted program. I almost did. I was tested for it, and like I scored just low enough that I wasn't a guaranteed spot in it. But they told my they told my parents. They told mostly my mother that if she wanted to, she could put me into the gifted class. And she said no. And at the time, I was a little disappointed, and then I just forgot about it. Because I was disappointed because it's like, that it really does play into your child ego of like, I'm in the gifted class, meh. But then I forgot about it, and I am quite thankful to my mother now that she didn't put me into the gifted class. Well, gifted program. Because I've already got enough anxiety issues that I don't need whatever would have come out from that on top of it all. Oopsie, that's an alpha weasel. What Pokemon shall I use to fight the alpha weasel? Well, I guess I will try Tortwig. But yeah, I had almost enough to get me into the gifted program, but it was like, she might struggle in it, so. Yeah. Oh no. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. So this alpha weasel that I got into a fight with just kept using rest a whole lot. So it was starting to get really annoying to fight it. Where'd the Bidoof go? Where'd the Bidoof go? Anyways, hi, you're very cute. Yes, you're extremely cute. Oh my gosh, you're adorable. Why can't I feed you? Yeah, these days gifted programs are often kind of seen as problematic, and it might have been, but I loved it. 2 days a week I went to that school in 4, 5, and 6, and basically all my ES memories are from there rather than normal school. Yeah, so there's a lot of people that talk about the gifted program in a very negative manner of giving them all sorts of anxiety issues. But yeah, if you really liked it, then I can totally see that happening. Like, my memories from elementary school, a lot of them are the positive ones. There are a few that I have, which are definitely the negative moments, I'll just say. But yeah, there are definitely some where I do have more positive memories of strict grade school. Although I am still going to say, the Pledge of Allegiance is a really weird thing. Like, I'm not from America, and I went to school in elementary school in America, and learning that you guys do the Pledge of Allegiance and have to, like, somehow... Yeah. Anyways, you guys all learned the Pledge of Allegiance, and it was pretty bizarre the first time I saw it. And heard it, and then was told to do it. And me being a, well, grade 3 student, didn't know better. That I had a choice in it. I had a choice in that matter. You had to learn it in Spanish for 1 year. I had a teacher who taught us how to do it in sign language. Anyways, yeah, so I'm almost at the 1 hour mark, and I did say I was going to evolve a Pokemon halfway through that. Anyways, I just remembered what I was going to check in this. Unfortunately, I lost its place, so... Alright, Acid Spray. Oh, I'm done with Acid Spray. I'm like super done with Acid Spray. I need to be using Poison Gas instead. Also, can we talk about just how hilarious the Stunky evolution is when I finally do evolve this Stunky? Anyways, like I said, well, soon, I'm going to evolve my second Pokemon. But I think it might be a little bit longer before I can evolve Routes. Anyways, I just realized I didn't want to use this Pokemon in this battle. I accidentally sent out Stunky when I wanted to send out Routes instead. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is that, oopsie. What I'm trying to say is that ultimately, what happens in these games aren't reflected in the contemporary games of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. But that could be like stylization of what you, well, technically the player character who is controlled by you is interested in. Like, you are not capable of picking up any of the books and reading them yourself. That said, I do still, however, stick by the timeline of 300 years minimum for this game and the contemporary games. Sorry, my audio just skipped a little bit right there. I don't know if it's going to get picked up in the recording though. But yeah. Anyways, some of the... One thing that has kind of happened, and also not happened, because of Game Freak's general shift away from having a complete national dex in the games anymore, they don't have to try to include places for the player to get certain items. What does that mean? It means that when Game Freak feels like including certain Pokemon in the game for lore reasons, they really are including it for, well, maybe not always lore reasons. Maybe it's like, alright, yo, we have a cool design this year, let's finally put it out. That sort of thing. So when they include stuff in the games now for legendary Pokemon these days, then it's done with more purpose than in the past. So like in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, in Kalos, in Unova, the designers had to include areas for the player to get items from Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Because you weren't able to... Also in Unova, in Kalos, in Johto, technically, and in Alola, the designers had to include certain areas where the player would be able to get special items like the Adamant Orb and the Gracious Orb and the Lustrous Orb, so that you would have them for Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina. But now that Game Freak is breaking away from that trend, it means that they don't have to include places like the Cave of Emptiness, the Sea Dweller's Cavern. Dang it, the Starly ran away. Alright, so I've used Hypnosis enough times, that's good. And I've used Leafage enough times. Okay, so that's kind of the goal for right now. And Poison Gas, but the thing is with Poison Gas is that Stunky has Venoshock. So a combination of Poison Gas and Venoshock still works for trying to level up Stunky. Anyways, back to what I was saying before. It means like no longer having to include places for the players to get certain items that were necessary, that are kind of necessary for Pokemon from older generations, but they can't bring with them because they restricted items. They restricted transferring items in the games. It means that the designers no longer have to include stuff like Cave of Emptiness, Sinjo Ruins, and other places. They only have to include the places that they feel like including. Oh shit. Yeah, so I'm kind of abandoning everything. I was gonna go back to the coast, but you know what? There's an outbreak of Bonsly, and that kind of takes precedence. So I want to get to, what's this camp? Summit Camp. Yeah, anyways, there's an outbreak of Bonsly, so that's my priority right now. It's in the Coronet Highlands, so my Pokemon aren't a great level for this. That said, I'm not going to be evolving this. I'm not going to be evolving a Pokemon this hour. Didn't I? Okay, I did. Okay, good. I picked the right area. Anyways, the one thing I am going to do before I go there is not evolve a Pokemon. I am going to be buying some Pokeballs because I want to make sure I have enough Ultra Balls. So yeah, I spent a whole lot of money on getting some Rotom parts, so I don't have as much money as I used to. But that's okay because I got the Rotom parts instead. Now, do I have to try to catch more Rotom? Absolutely. I got really lucky, I think, with the one that I did manage to find. So, anyways, from now on, like when the developers want to include something, they do it because they want to. Hi there. Have some food. Have some food. I don't know if I have enough. I really should have enough food. Yep, I will. And then I will be done with this Pokedex part of the entry. Now I just have to figure out what Pokemon will be good for battling these guys. Okay, not Rhyhorn is the answer. They are 10 level. My Rhyhorn is 10 levels below Bonsly. Well, I need to catch it, so. But man, I need to see it use Mimic. Also, oh, I need to catch it without being spotted. Okay. So, this is going to be a bit more difficult. Where did it go? Oh god, did they all run over there? They all ran over there. Alright, so my chance for trying to catch them without being spotted is going to be a lot harder. But at least with these ones, there's some grass around here. Well, that's not helpful when it just kind of like runs into the grass. Oops, wait, hang on. Yeah, so, alright, I have to catch 2 more without being spotted. And then the rest of them is like try to get into a fight. And try to make it use Mimic or just use one in battle. Although that said, I now want to try to get into some battles with them. Although, maybe this will be okay. But yeah, dang it, it ran away. I think that from now on, I think that's going to be much, much harder to try to get the entries for Bonsly, especially that one of get it to leap out of rocks at you. Alright, I need it to be closer than that in order to get the you caught it unawares advantage. It also does not help that I am having like some sort of weird drift issues. Oh my god, so Gabite does not have great defense. Alright, now I can evolve 2 of my Pokemon. So you are still going to get the minimum 3 evolutions. It's just not going to be the one that with the Water Stone. So, anyways, let's evolve Tortwig because I need to do that. I got a Grotle. And I'm going to go ahead and evolve Tristan twice. So this is going to be a 4 evolution thing, and well, I guess I could evolve the Waterstone one at the end of the episode. Maybe that'll be a good treat. And that's just so I can start right away on Gallade. So first, let's check if there's anything I need to do with Kirlia. Because alright. I remember I got frustrated with Draining Kiss, but it looks like I finished it anyways. So, now it should be Dawnstone, and it is. So now, Kirlia, when they're male, can evolve into Gallade when I use the Dawnstone on it. And this is one of the evolutions that was introduced in Gen 4 of the gendered evolution, so to speak. So, Gallade wasn't the first psychic, it wasn't the first psychic fighting type that was introduced, but it was the psychic fighting type that was introduced in the generation when they finally did the split between physical moves and when it did the split between physical moves and special type moves, which was a huge bonus for some Pokemon, whereas for others it wasn't that big of a deal because they already had those stats pretty much even. So that's actually going to be a terrible matchup if I try to battle it. Man, I really just cannot catch any of these Pokemon unawares. Alright, well, anyways, I caught a bunch of Bonsly in here, and that's pretty good, so I think I'm actually gonna head out from this area. Oh, wow, sorry about that. But yeah, I'm glad I was able to take advantage of that outbreak. Now, I would also like to maybe see a Rotom around here, but I guess not. Anyways, is that a Pseudo-Ludo down there? That's a Pseudo-Ludo down there. Neat. So yeah, we're right above another temple in the Sinnoh/Hisui region. So the history that's presented in this game is a little bit funky, if I do say so myself, because you have a few different people trying to settle in Sinnoh, in the lands that would become Sinnoh, throughout history. Like, throughout the history of these games, people have tried to live in this land. This land is very inhospitable. Like, if you were ranking the Pokemon games by how livable the lands are, then Sinnoh ranks like second worst. I say second worst because I'm aware of the fact that the Ore games exist. So hang on. I want to talk. Okay, I'm very confused. I don't suppose a grunt like you would even know, but I guess it behooves me to ask. Do you know the Pokemon called Cresselia? I do. Well, I figured you know. I wouldn't expect any less from someone who managed to defeat me, even if it was just a fluke. Cresselia is said to be the very embodiment of the crescent moon. Her feathers are called lunar feathers, and legend says that if you hold one as you fall asleep, you'll be visited with wondrous dreams. Well, I call her a nightmare, that pesky Cresselia. She descended upon Moonview Arena and caused my lord to hide itself away. I'm so worried about Electrode that I can't even sleep, never mind dream. Think you might be able to catch Cresselia and perhaps even claim one of those lunar feathers? Oh, do catch that pesky flying croissant. Do it for my poor Electrode. Though I suppose Cresselia can't be all bad if she at least recognizes the perfection of the arena and is looked after with loving care by the great Melly. the player character face is great. Anyways, shit. Shit. Oh no. I don't want to be here right now. I don't want to be here right now. I am not ready for this. This is not what I brought my 60 Pokeballs for. Oh no. Shoot. This is literally not what I bought my 60 Pokeballs for. Can I leave? Okay. I think it's just going to stay like that. That was not what I meant to do. I think I have to go take care of that. So, let me go switch out my team, I guess. I would like to see my Pokemon. Oh boy. So, Tristan, sorry, you're going in the box. It is a dark type Pokemon, but Umbreon's not a high enough level for it, so Sylveon's coming back out because Sylveon's one of my highest level Pokemon. Scizor, you're in. Gabite, you need to go in the box. Glycazor is coming with me because it's also one of my higher level Pokemon. Man, I need to evolve some of my EVs. And, Zuko, you're coming along. And Walrein, who I still have not named, you're in. So yeah, oh man, actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm bringing with me the Nightmare Pokemon, and, alright, I have 2 ground types with me right now, so I'm actually gonna just bring, Zuko. So, yeah, I accidentally started the Cresselia, question because I got very confused when I saw Kalaba here. Because, Kalaba, you're supposed to be down in the Mirelands. You are 99 years old. Why are you climbing from the Mirelands up here? And now, anyways, I have to figure out how to get closer to her. Which is right now mostly just my controls are reversed, so that's like super annoying. I also have to figure out how to get through her barrier, and I just don't have a whole lot of things to throw at her. Yeah, Cresselia used Psychic, which I kind of expected. Oh, this is maybe a dangerous move. Although it only helps if it actually hits. So, come on. Oh boy. So, Shadow Claw hit, and it did not do that much damage, even though it's a super effective move. So, this time, let's try Sizor in this battle. And X-Scissor. Shoot! I defeated Cresselia. You must catch the Pokemon to battle once more. Okay. Except I now have a fainted Pokemon. So, good to know about that. Except my Pokemon fainted, so that's not good. Alright, starting this again. It's really good to know that one X-Scissor, after a bit of other damage, seems to be enough to take it out. Psycho Cut on Firenze, but she did use Agile Style. So, I don't know if she has any self-damaging moves. So, the nice thing about Agile Style is that it is a weaker version of the same— Dang it! Ugh! I have to do this again! Come on! Ugh. At least I'm getting used to the controls. But, yeah, let's try— No. Alright, I'm going to try Hex this time. And Lunar Blessing restores his HP. Great. And makes it harder to hit. Wonderful. Oh, I hate that. But the target is obscured, the move missed, so shoot. Alright. Instead of using a move that is going to be super effective, I'm trying Flamethrower instead. But, oh shit. Of course. And the burn was healed, and it's obscured again. This is an annoying fight. Alright, now let's try Darkrai. I brought Darkrai with me for the symbolism. Dark Void. God, that's a cool looking move. But it's also very— well, I have Dark Pulse, which never misses, so— aw, come on. It knocked it out in one hit. Darkrai is too powerful. Alright, that's it. I'm healing up my Pokemon properly this time instead of using items. Should I just, like, try to throw Pokeballs at it, you think? Just call it a day, get into the battle, and fight it out properly. But yeah, I accidentally started the Cresselia quest. At least I talked to Melly first. Also, there's the problem that I don't get any items for throwing. Alright, how far? Alright. And now... Okay, this time, let's try using a strong style move from the get-go. Alright, and Cresselia was burned this time. But it's probably, yep, it used the Lunar Blessing and healed its burn. Alright, so that's easily the most annoying move for this Pokemon, is the fact that Lunar Blessing heals whatever status ailment I managed to give it, restores its health, and makes it harder to hit. So I don't know. Again, the problem is that I don't want to knock it out, but I want it to stop using Lunar Blessing so much. Alright, so now I'm using a Gigaton Ball because I don't know if Gigaton Balls are more effective than... Oh, come on. 1 Gigaton Ball was all I needed. 1 Gigaton Ball to catch Cresselia. I got the Dread Plate from Cresselia. A stone tablet imbued with the essence of darkness. When used on a certain Pokemon, it allows that Pokemon to gain the power of the Dark type. Cresselia is a Psychic type Pokemon. Well, well, this is unexpected. Instead of a lunar feather, you got some kind of a plate. I do feel power emanating from it, though. In any case, if Cresselia did not gift us with any of her feathers, then I suppose she had thought we had no need for them. Not bad at all, Grunt, although I suppose anyone with enough luck to best the great Melly should be able to handle at least that much. Thinking about it, a halfway competent person like you might actually make a decent sparring partner to help my lord and I grow stronger still. I will go back to the settlement and tell the others about her feathers that we didn't get. Alright, so I have 2 more plates that I can find because I accidentally started this quest. So anyways, that's why I'm not doing any quests and stuff off stream and trying not to play off stream because I accidentally started that. Anyways, she's gone. Kalaba's gone. Alright. Alright, that was an impromptu adventure. I now need to switch my Pokemon back because I'm not battling anything anymore. And get back to leveling up some stuff. I was kind of hoping to save all of those for like a final-ish end episode. Anyways, Glycosaur does not technically belong in that box, but here we are. Anyways, Sylveon, get back in the box. I have no idea how I organize some of these boxes. Okay, so this is all of the Pokemon. And Darkrai, I just need to put into the right section. Okay. So yeah, Yeah, that's why I don't quite want to play anything offline until I finish with, like, the main story stuff, because stuff like that happens to me. I wander too close to a cutscene trigger. Anyways, what was I talking about before? Is that a... Oh, okay, no. I got a little confused there because I thought I had seen one of the wisps for this area. And it's like, that's in a very odd place, but I suppose it could be there. And I was right about it being in an odd place because it wasn't a wisp. And it's also too light outside for it to have been one anyways. I'm in technically an area that I don't really want to be in right now. The Pokemon in this area are too high level for the ones I'm trying to level up right now. And I am also aware that I could just use items. Hang on. I could just use items. Nope. Yeah, I could use some of the XP candy to level them up faster, but I honestly plan on using that for the Pokemon that I want on my final team later. I guess I flew too close to the edge of the map there. That Mothim looks quite big. Ah, that's why the Mothim looks very big. It's an alpha. Right. Anyways, yeah. I could use XP candies on them, but I want to save them for my final team, so like I'm not taking too much time from leveling them up. That said, I'm pretty sure about which ones I'm going to be using for that. And the one Pokemon that I will absolutely have to level up for it, I'm going to do that one on screen, at least up until its evolution. And then I'm going to be doing some stuff offline for it, just to make it go a little bit faster for everyone. Bonsley, Cresselia. Oh, huh, interesting. I got a point for Darkrai because I had it use a Dark Void. Anyways, that was a diversion of quite the level. There's a Wish Cache outbreak in the Mirelands, which I'm not terribly interested in. I know I have to take care of a few of the emotion trio as well, but that's also not here nor there. And instead, right now, I'm just going to be continuing to level up Pokemon. But not Grotle, because Grotle is pretty much done. Instead, it's going to be some of my other Pokemon. And again, this might not be the best area for leveling up some of them, but that's what passive points are for. see, like Skunky and Staravia right now in the coastal area. And the coastlands are too close in level. So I'm pretty much gonna have to go right back. Yeah, I'm pretty much gonna have to go right back and heal up Skunky again. Or I just keep moving forward. I have to admit, this coastlands area is an area that's much harder to place in the games than almost anywhere else in Hisui. Yeah, so I think a lot of the Pokemon in this area are just going to be too high level for a lot of my team again. But that's also, I mean, the best way to level them up, so. The main issue, though, is that a lot of them are too fast. So, like, this Golduck that I decided to fight, it got a move off right away that has done enough damage that Gabite has 1 HP left after a single battle. So I'm making the very dumb decision to try to fight a Psyduck with a Grotle. And yeah, just a lot of my Pokemon, I'm just gonna have to head back to the camp or head to the other camp because they've just taken that much damage after a single battle each. And yes, okay, there were 2 pieces of iron right there. Yes, I could use items. I am aware of that. But at the same time, items cost money. Healing does not. Sleeping in a bed to heal does not. Although, that said, IRL, I want to sleep in a different bed. I want to go on a vacation somewhere and just sleep in a bed somewhere else. It might be a sign that I need a new mattress, but this is not the right time to be trying to buy a mattress. This is also not the right time to be going to a hotel just because I feel like it, so that's also off the menu. So, yeah. Anyways, back to camp, this side, the beachside camp instead of the other camp. And wonderful, it's raining. You know, honestly, this rain just keeps reminding me, the rain in this area just keeps reminding me of how hard it was to catch a Vulpix. Because I swear that was half of the problem I had with catching Vulpix, the fact that it was always raining. So yeah, the Pokemon in this area are much higher level than the Obsidian Fieldlands, obviously. But at the same time, if the Pokemon runs away before I can defeat it, that's a different problem. And yeah, they are all still too high level for Grotle. So Grotle, I will probably have to go back to a different area for it. Or just use items. I don't know which yet. And yeah, the Pokemon in this area are too high level for 2 of my Pokemon right now. So for those 2, I will have to go back to a different area. Although the lesson I learned with Glameow is just try to hit it. Because otherwise I'm just gonna waste a move. Like I did twice. Alright, back to beating up Tangela. That was the most reliable way I had for fighting with Skunky, and that's just gonna be what we go back to. Yeah, I don't remember what level Skunky evolves at. That was one of the Skunky was one, well, Skuntank was one of the Pokemon I definitely considered using in my Brilliant Diamond play. Because again, something I've kind of wanted to start doing is use Pokemon I haven't used in previous games. So like, that was some of like Game Freak's argument for not including every Pokemon in, well no, actually it wasn't it. But rather it was some people's argument. The exact opposite was actually people's argument for why the Dexit of Galar was a bad thing. It meant that the Pokemon that they've used for their teams were sometimes no longer available. I don't have anything great anymore. Oh shit. I made a terrible decision. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, people were complaining about the whole Dexit thing because for some people they basically lost at least one Pokemon from their main team. Like, people that use Garchomp, sorry, Garchomp's not in that game anymore. So yeah, a lot of players lost some of their main Pokemon from their teams, and they were upset about it. And that's just kind of what I really thought about. It's like, people figure out which Pokemon they like to use, and they stick with that. But like, trying to force yourself to use a new team each generation can like maybe teach you something new, or well, teach you about a different Pokemon that you wouldn't have ever considered using before because you pretty much already had a team that you liked. So like, I mean, how did that guy figure out to use Pachirisu? Who knows? But he's the one that figured out, like, Pachirisu's special defense makes it work really well. Like, the special defense of Pachirisu and some other factors made it work pretty well. And not a lot of people were prepared for a Pachirisu at that event. So, like, the surprise factor also helped with that. But yeah, like, a lot of people maybe haven't used a Mothim on their teams because, admittedly, Mothim is pretty hard to get in a lot of the games. You have to get it on a tree, you have to make sure you get a male one, and probably want to make sure that you have one with good stats and all that. And just maybe it has, like, somewhat lackluster stats compared to, like, I mean, Garchomp, which is a pseudo-legendary. but forcing yourself to use Pokemon that you've never used before, I think is a good way to like keep the games a little bit fresh for you. So like maybe someday I'll play with the Rhyperior. It wasn't a Pokemon that I'd ever used in the past. I just didn't like the design of Rhydon's final evolution. So like maybe someday I'll use it. But this time I want to use Scizor because that was one that I've actually always wanted to use. But Scizor was a Pokemon that I've always wanted to use, but I've just never been able to. I didn't ever really have a reliable way to trade Pokemon before. And by the time I usually got Scyther and the Metal Coat, the rest of my team was pretty much decided. In this game, I haven't decided on what my final team will be, so adding it is not as big as a pain. Although that said, I do want to say this to Game Freak, please put ice Pokemon in sooner in the game. Because like, so many of them come late game that usually by that time, if I'm not specifically keeping a slot free for that Pokemon, I've already got my full team decided by the time I get to that area with ice Pokemon. Like, that's what some people were saying about Zoroark. That by the time they got to the region where you could get Zoroark and Zorua, they already had their team figured out. So like, trying to add that Pokemon to their team, like either they had to go in knowing like, yes, whenever I get Zorua, it's getting added to my team. Anyways, there's a Drapion that's chasing me. So yeah, just that's some of my thoughts right now. Like, well, also, like, Doocy-Doo-Lie. Technically, I shouldn't have a Doocy-Doo-Lie, or, well, any of the 3 starters on my final team, because I've already used all 3 of them in a final team for a different game. But very specifically, I haven't used the Hisuian for it, so it's fine. But yeah. Sometimes Pokemon, you only get access to them in such a late part of the game that if you don't know that you want to add them for your team, or if you don't mind taking the time to grind until they're up with the rest of your team, you're gonna maybe miss out on a good Pokemon, or just a cool Pokemon to use. Ultimately, does it mean anything? Not really. Preference is preference, and I suppose that if you do want to keep using the exact same team over and over again, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. That's on you. I may be judging you a bit, but that's like somewhat because like there are interesting Pokemon that there are Pokemon with interesting designs or interesting types that get overlooked because they have middling stats or their availability is quite low. I'm looking at you, Lantern. Like, there's not a whole lot of water or electric types. And yet, Lantern is a Pokemon that almost never gets added to the game. So. And anyways, that was also one of the topics from before, of just like, Game Freak does place some favorites with Pokemon. Like, I mean, Salamence, again, is a Pokemon that I'm going to point out again and again. Well, I'm super confused. Machop, I know, definitely noticed me, but I got attacked by something with poison. So, that's fun. Oh, there it is. But yeah, no, Game Freak does play some favorites with the Pokemon, like Charizard and Salamence. And like, yeah. Or like Tentacool. Tentacool are back, they're all over the place, and I understand they were in the Sinnoh games. So like, I'm not too surprised, but at the same time, man, Chinchou is a really, really cute Pokemon. It has such a cute design. I love its little eyes. And yet, I can't even remember any recent games that have Chinchou and Lantern in them. Ooh, Skunky can evolve. Alright, so let's evolve Skunky. And this actually might become a really good time to start finishing up. Because I have about 8 more minutes before I reach the 2-hour point. But yeah, I might be judging, I feel like I might be judging you a little if you do use the same Pokemon over and over again in your teams. But I also understand, like, you like that Pokemon a lot. You don't want to change that one. But like, maybe, like, using the same team over and over again? Like, okay, the same battle team over and over again for, like, competitive battling. Like, trying to figure out a new team, like, that is hard. I understand that. But for, like, the main story part, the part that you're essentially playing by yourself, not with other people, and not against other people, mix that up. Play the whole game with Pokemon that you've never used before. Play the whole game with a team of 6 Wurmples, and let the cards fall where they may in terms of what they which Pokemon they evolve into. Use a random number generator to decide what your Pokemon team is going to be. But there's going to be like over 900 Pokemon soon. Mix it up. Anyways, I just realized I also don't know what I need to do for Grotle. Where is Grotle in this Pokedex? And yeah, some of my feelings about being somewhat detached from what I think a Pokemon team should be. Like, I'll maybe get attached to like 1 or 2 Pokemon in a generation, but I know that they're not the battling ones. There's Grotle. Okay, Leaf Blade, what? Whoops. Oh, there's a lot of stuff under survey tips, apparently. Leaf Blade isn't a move that I have, so that means I have to go back to Zisu to get it, I think. Dang it. But yeah, some of it is definitely that I don't have attachment to a team. I haven't really done competitive battling. That wasn't ever something that I particularly enjoyed. I mostly ever only got frustrated with it. So like, I understand that you like a team, you like the Pokemon on the team, and that's your preference. And if you could keep the same team forever and ever, like, you probably would. But I think, like, some of it, like the obstinate, yeah. That's a telling word. Sometimes when you stick too much to a team and you're unwilling to try something new, it means that you do miss out on something. And being forced to pick a team that you maybe wouldn't have gone with before, and especially for doing it for the main storyline, when like it doesn't matter as much, you can maybe find something that you quite like. So yeah, Skuntank was one I considered for my Diamond and Pearl playthrough, because it's just a Pokemon I'd never used before. But some of that was definitely because I needed a Ground-type Pokemon, or something that could learn Ground-type moves, and none of the Pokemon that I had on my team could learn anything that could learn were able to learn a decent Ground-type move. Anyways, you're probably not interested in seeing me put stuff away, so instead, since I'm back at camp, I'm gonna switch around some Pokemon. So Skuntank is done. I need to go through my boxes again and figure out which of these many Roselia can I get rid of. Also, Cresselia doesn't belong in that box. And we're going to finish off the episode tonight after some maybe controversial statements from me, but I mean, I have the comments turned off for a reason. But yeah, branch out. Try a new Pokemon on your team that you wouldn't have done before. Have you ever used a Vaporeon on your team? Well, I have, so I can't use it on my team. But if you haven't, try using it. And who knows, maybe you'll find that you really, really like this Pokemon. But yeah, Aqua got the idea for a new move. Is Aqua going to join Kingdom Hearts? Who knows? But that's where I'm going to leave you. I'm going to leave you with Alpha coming out. Is Aqua an Alpha Pokemon? Aqua is an Alpha, so this Vaporeon is much larger than your average Vaporeon. But I think it's quite happy to be out in this rain, aren't you? Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Anyways, that's all for now. Let's bring out a few more Pokemon to play with before I go. Is Vaporeon supposed to be this big? No. Does it deserve to be this big? Absolutely. Absolutely does Vaporeon deserve to be this big. So yes, anyways. Branch out. Try using some Pokemon that you never would have considered using before. Gallade is facing the wrong direction for this party. Alright, nope. Gallade really just wants to talk with the professor instead. There we go, finally. Okay, that was actually pretty cool. But yeah, no, branch out. Add to your team Pokemon that you never would have considered before. And try something new. And who knows? Maybe you'll find something you really, really like. Or at least it'll be very cute and aesthetic. Anyways, I've got all of my Pokemon out. They're all talking with each other, although Typhlosion is a little bit miserable, so I'm going to bring him back to his Pokeball. And I'm just going to leave you all here to enjoy my giant Vaporeon talking with most of the rest of my team. So, bye-bye.